Group Show with Michele 1L Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. You got through Friday the 13th okay, Michele?
I did just barely. Thank goodness, too, watching Freaky Friday. Remember that movie from 1976?
I was going to say, you're watching the original or the remake with Lindsay Lohan?
I'm all about originals. So I love the original with Jodie Foster and Barbara Harris.
It's, you know what, that is a classic one from our childhood for sure. Well, I mean, that's like, we were like, babies when that movie came out or whatever, but still, it is a classic.
Totally. And yesterday was a crazy day. You'd think Friday the 13th, you just want to huddle down and not do much because who knows what may happen. But I had 10 deals firm up in one day. Like, that's crazy.
10? We're talking double digits.
Double digits in one day.
Wow.
I know. I'm, drop the mic on that one.
Okay, well, maybe this... Okay, my daughter was explaining this, and maybe there's something to this. We've had 2 Friday the 13th this month. We had one yesterday, and the other one was in March. And my daughter said, I don't know if this is exactly right, because, well, she's 13. What does she know? That is when we were hit
13th.
With a worldwide pandemic. That's when we got notice we were in a pandemic. So maybe now things are turning around on the second Friday the 13th. Can we, kind of think happy thoughts here?
Very interesting you say that and you recognize that. And I love to think happy thoughts. Absolutely. I think we all do. It's important. But a couple things that we're going to talk about in our first segment. Well, one is definitely about the, COVID and how it's affecting rental rates, because the rental rate increase freeze has now been extended until next July. So rent freeze, they put it in place because of COVID-19 pandemic, but they're extending it. So originally the rent freeze was going to expire on December 1st, but now it's been extended until July 10th. The province announced just last Monday.
Now, is that a total freeze? Because this is something I didn't quite understand when I was reading about this. Like, let's say I am a landlord and all of a sudden I find out that, they're raising my whatever bill by $15 a month. So I say, hey, I want $10 out of you. Is it right across the board, or can you increase for other increases?
It's all landlords are not allowed to increase their rents whatsoever.
Okay.
To any, yeah.
Yeah, see, that was the thing. I think there was a little bit of, it's a bit confusing to try to read sometimes. Like, as a landlord, you'd be going, well, I'm having to pay more, so I'm going to raise the rent. But no, you cannot.
No, you cannot. Yeah, normally you can raise your rents up to a certain percentage, which is the appreciation, which they set per year. But so if you've, let's say, it's been over a year that you've done that and you need to and you want to as a landlord, well, you can't. There's a freeze on it. So it's going to delay all of that.
Well, that's good information to have.
Yes, hopefully it helps people. So yeah, that's one thing. And then of course we know that we can't have any open houses, or we're not having any open houses. Making sure that we're only showing properties, because real estate is an essential service. Of course, people need roofs over their heads. So we are not doing that anymore. But we are finding great ways of helping ready-to-go buyers get into the properties that they're serious about and they possibly wanting to write an offer on, so with all safety precautions in hand. So, yeah, we're going to get through this. We're kind of partway into the 2-week kind of lockdown, if you want to call it. It's not a complete lockdown, but...
We're on a timeout. Dr. Bonnie put us on a timeout.
Yeah, let's call it that. I like that. So, oh my gosh, I have to tell everyone, if everyone hasn't seen it yet, but we have a commercial running on CTV, and I'm so excited because you, Curtis, lended your very caramel voice to it.
Caramel voice?
Sounds great.
Caramel?
It's amazing, smooth.
I think at best I'm like really cheap chocolate.
No cheap chocolate with you.
Yeah, the stuff that's barely even chocolate, the percentage of chocolate's negligible. Like, I don't think caramel. I don't think I can go with that.
No, I'm coining it as a caramel.
All right, well, we'll go with that. I mean, you're going to start writing my, my press releases and resumes and stuff, because you word things a lot better than I do.
Oh, you don't need any help.
I think you're going to be my agent at this rate.
Oh, yeah, add that to the resume.
That's right.
I'd have fun with it, though. I would.
Well, the commercial's really cool, actually. I mean, when you asked me to voice it, I was like, well, yeah, sure. Then you gave me a script that was about 10 minutes long, but once we cut it down...
I can't help it. It's like
was,
our show. I want it to go longer all the time.
I know. Once we cut it down and made it work, it's a great-looking commercial.
It was amazing. You took all my blah, 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 and you just rolled it out in, what was it, 15 seconds, 11 seconds, something like that?
I believe I had 11 and a half seconds, I believe.
It was amazing. And I love the different options that you gave me. So we might have fun and, share or do more with the different ones that you did.
Well, I figured, it's better to have, when I'm only doing 11 and a half seconds of talking, I can give you a few options.
Oh, there was one of my favorite. And
I don't think we can use that one, though.
Oh, gosh, okay.
It was fun, though. We got a good laugh over it.
We did. Well, you got to have fun in life. You got to laugh. Laughter is good medicine.
Absolutely. So that commercial, is it running now?
It is running now, yes. And then I've got a segment coming up, an actual segment that's going to be airing Saturday, November 21st on City TV, Vancouver. So watch, and hopefully I share some great advice. It's just like a 1-minute segment of real estate advice with Fraser Valley real estate agent Michele Cummins. I give
which show is that going to be? I always get the name wrong.
It's on City TV Vancouver, and it's probably going to be aired around, I'm not sure what time it will be aired, actually.
Okay.
November 21st, just watch it all day long.
Just all day. You'll find it eventually. Just don't even leave to get a bag of chips or a drink or go to the bathroom. Just sit in front of the TV.
No, you may miss it. It's only 1 minute.
Exactly. Or, just set your PVR for the entire day, and then you can go through and fast forward and find it.
Oh my gosh, I have to say, later today, my sister, I'm going to this mortgage burning party. Do you remember those growing up, Curtis?
I want to say no, that I'm too young, but sadly I do.
Yes, exactly. Our age group, our aunts and our uncles, it was this thing to look up to. And oh my gosh, they're going to have a mortgage burning party. What does that mean? And well, they used to have such high interest rates that when you got out of debt, when you were able to pay off your mortgage, it was worth having a party over. So, and my sister and brother-in-law, that's how they grew up. And they're so young to do it, but they just paid off their mortgage this week. And so we're going to celebrate with them today and having a mortgage burning party. And we literally will be burning their paperwork, most likely.
That's it brings back a lot of memories of that. I remember that being a big thing and people talking about, I can't wait to burn my mortgage, and then we can live mortgage free. But it's such a different world now, because that was back when people would buy a house and they would stay there till the kids moved out or until they retired, then downsize or whatever. Where now, as you've pointed out many times, people move every 5 to 7 years.
Mm-hmm. And cash is king, and that's why they did that, and that's why they're doing it. Today with the interest rates being under 2%, I mean, it doesn't most of the time make sense at this point to do it, but in preparation for when the interest rates do start rising, and will they ever go up to what they were in the 80s or 90s when we grew up, when these, our aunts and uncles are paying off their mortgages and celebrating? Hopefully it never goes that high again. But yes, we got some good interest rates right now.
I don't think we'll ever see it when it was up to, was it 26% or whatever ridiculous amount it was in the early 80s?
Yes, I heard of some clients even paying 28% back then.
I can remember my mom and dad talking about it, because I think they had to renew a mortgage around that time, but I can't really remember. But I know that it was bad. Yes,
really bad. And even you could own multiple properties, and if your mortgage was up for renewal and you couldn't, your rentals weren't coming in for to cover it, and it was bad. So it is important to not over stretch yourself when it comes to being a real estate investor. And yes, and that's why the Bank of Canada is so amazing, though, with the percentage down, and you do have to have at least 5% down in their debt ratio. They lightened it up a lot more, which is very good. But with that, and I don't know if you know, but also what's been announced is really the goal for the construction growth of of homes is 2 homes to every person in Canada. So their goal is to hopefully have more houses than people, so to also keep the affordability there for people. Because right now we just don't have enough homes for people.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So I don't know how much time we have here. Do we have another minute or two, or do we have to go to break?
Well, we probably should just remind people where they can go to get information about you, because by the time we do that, we're going to be at time. So if people want information about you as a realtor, where do they go?
Well, let's see. They can go to my website at michellecummins.ca.
Or they can find you all over social media and everywhere else, too.
Do it. Just Google Michele Cummins.
We are back with more right after this. Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. And I understand right now we're going to get all about being transparent.
Absolutely. Transparency is so important in every aspect of our lives. And now it's important. The government is seeing it as very important to the landowner transparency. So the landowner transparency registry filings are going to be required beginning of November 30th. So that's coming up. And what does that mean for people? Does it sound like a foreign language? Well, it has to do with foreign residents. So the landowners are partly about that. The Landowner Transparency Act and the Landowner Transparency Registry come into effect November 30th. So be prepared, realtors and buyers. According to the Land Title and Survey Authority of British Columbia, in its plan to address housing affordability, the BC government created the Landowner Transparency. So they call it LOTA, like L-O-T-A, actually, LOTA or whatnot, with the aim of ending hidden ownership and to crack down on fraud and close loopholes. So that's the reasoning. As a result, the Landowner Transparency Act will require information about interest holders or parties who do not have direct ownership but have a meaningful relationship or indirect ownership in the land to be stored and eventually be publicly accessible. So when a buyer is a corporation or a partnership or trust and not a resident of Canada, has beneficial owners or has shareholders outside of the country, this period could take up to 1 month as a result to get funds. So beware, because if you have closings coming up past November 30th and you are a foreign resident and you are part of a land transfer that will be happening after November 30th, you need to be aware, because a lot of people roll their money right into another investment. You know, they close on one, they close on another, or they have plans for that money right away. Well, there is going to be a delay. So beginning April 30th of 2021 is when the actual public will be able to search the LOTR, the Landowner Transparency Registry, how easy was that, and obtain some personal information about ownership interest in land. So personal information like date of birth and social insurance numbers will not be shown, but the names will be shown. So I know there's been, I've heard of issues in the past where people are wondering, well, who really is buying that? And, you know, if you're a realtor, obviously that's disclosed. But if you're not, you know, who is the owner of this numbered company or any company? So this is going to help with that transparency. So that will be good. And so if anybody has any questions about that, obviously get some legal advice. If you are or closing on anything, or you're planning on closing on anything with the land transfer, definitely talk to your lawyer. Talk to some legal advice about that.
Yes, get actual legal advice. Don't come to me or you for that.
No, don't call me on that one.
Well, I'm sure you've picked up a lot of knowledge, but again, it's still not the same as having that proper, legal advice who goes, actually, you're right, for most of this, but this is a little different. So it's good to have that person in your corner.
It is. And, there's legal advisors that specialize in different things. So definitely get a real estate lawyer as well. And so that's very, very helpful. So somebody who's wise in these legalities and updates themselves on these changes. So really important. And then I wanted to talk about, something exciting. If you're not going to move, if you're not going to sell your primary residence and you actually want to renovate, let's say you're going to purchase something that needs renovation. You're like, I don't have the cash for it, but there's $100,000 that has to be done. Or you want to put a suite in a house that doesn't have a suite, or whatever the case is, that you want to improve that property that you're purchasing. It could even be a commercial property. So one of my mortgage providers has given me some great information I wanted to share with everyone, is something called Purchase Plus Improvements. So you may have heard what that is, but what it comes down to is lending on the improvements that you want to make in the future after you purchase the property, but blending all those costs into your mortgage. So let me explain. The home, you're buying a new home, or like a new home to you, a residential property or commercial property you're going to purchase, needs some renovations. So with only as little as 5% down, you can actually do this. So with Purchase Plus Improvements for consumers looking to purchase that home and putting that little bit of pizzazz in the home, and you're going to raise the equity because of doing so, because that's why banks would lend on it. So at the acceptable loan purpose. So purchase transactions up to 95%. So again, you only need 5% down in order to get approved for this type of lending, or refinances. So that's where your own primary residence or your own property, and they will lend up to 80%. And this is available for up to a 30-year amortization period. So this is really good, easy on your pocketbook per month. So eligible properties, again, maximum 4 units with at least 1 unit occupied as the principal residence, or new construction or existing properties. And the process, so I'm going to say it in 6 easy steps. Step 1, you must find a house and have a good idea of what renovations need to be done and rough idea of how much it'll cost. Step 2, he can get you an approval based on the house as is. You then go and get some price quotes for the work that needs to be done. Make sure the quotes specifically state the work that is to be completed on that. Step 3, the mortgage provider will then have your mortgage approval revised to include the price of the renovations. Step 4, you take possession of your new home and start the renovations. And in most cases, the work has to be done by licensed contractor for this. Step 5, once the work is completed, the mortgage provider sends out to a bank representative to the property to ensure the renovations has been completed as required. And last and final step, 6, you get the money. Your lawyer will be instructed by the lender to release the money for the renovation. So when you purchase your property on completion day, the bank actually has lended or transferred the funds to your lawyer of the whole amount, including those renovations expected to be done. But the lawyer holds it back until you prove that the work has been done and you can provide the invoices for such. So it's really easy 6 steps if you want to do that. And, why not under 2%? Use the bank's money, and maybe you could raise the value, add that suite that you don't have yet. It is a really great idea, and it might be even good before you sell. If you don't have a suite, you can add this. You just have to be careful to make sure that you're not tied in and you have a prepayment penalty when you go to sell. But if you do need some lending to add something or to improve your property in some way to get the best value out of it, also a line of credit, equity line of credit could work for that as well. But there you have it. I wanted to share that information. And the mortgage provider who lended this information for me to share with you all is Faisal Wahid from Dominion Lending. So he's right here in the Fraser Valley. He's a great mortgage provider and has helped me and my clients out quite a lot.
Excellent. Now, I also understand you have a couple listings we need to talk about.
Yes. Oh, gosh. So I've got amazing. Seriously, the lowest price strata in all of Mission and the lowest priced townhouse in all of the Fraser Valley. And it's my listing. It's a blowout price. It is vacant and ready for possession for that buyer who needs something quick. If you want something before the holidays, just a couple of days ago, they changed the price to $225. So it's in a complex called Luther Place, and it's on the top. It's a top floor end unit. So these are townhouses, but they're condo-style townhouses. So this one has views of just the forest and greenery behind it, very well manicured lawns, and there's beautiful green space. So it is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom home, but it has a chairlift from. So if you can't do stairs, no worries. It does have the chairlift. You can remove it if you don't need it. It's clean. It's well kept, but could use some upgrades. And you can actually add a second bathroom if you wanted to easily, because the laundry room is quite large. And so that is in a 55-plus complex, I should mention. It's well run, and it's really close to the bus stop. Pets are allowed. Rentals aren't allowed. So, again, only $225,000 for that one. And then one of my new listings coming up is on 3rd Avenue in Mission. It is a character home on 2 legal duplex lots with a future of attached multifamily for the overall community plan. So, I mean, if you want to live in it now, great. Oh, my gosh, such a good investment, but such a character home and a good large home. It's really unique. So I don't have the price on that one yet. That's coming soon. So keep an eye on it. And then I've got a new listing that hit just a couple days ago. It's on 1st Avenue in Mission. This is a commercial property. So this one is just adorable. I mean, everyone will recognize it and know it when you see it. It's a 2-story, 2,600 square foot commercial on the bottom, so like retail, and then living, this huge living area above. But there's some major repairs that need to be done on the retaining wall and the home, but so much character. I mean, it's been standing since early 1900s here in Mission on the main street. So that one's priced at $549. Again, motivation there. It needs some work, but man, that building is worth $1 million. If it didn't need the work, it needs done. So that is a major, great new listing coming up. And okay, I don't know if you have a quote for this week, Curtis, but I do. And if you do, I'd love you to share yours too.
Well, I can just give you one of my favorites, Yogi Berra. It ain't over till it's over.
That's good. Yogi is so smart. He must take ginkgo biloxi or something.
Whatever the heck that is.
Some herb. Okay, my quote then for you all is by the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. If you aren't going to say exactly how and what you feel, might as well not say anything at all.
It's very true, and I have heard that one before, and that is a great one from the Man in Black.
And it has to do with transparency. Right?
Exactly. Which is hard to be transparent when you're always wearing all black clothing.
Bring it back around. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, if people want more information about everything we've talked about, what do they got to do?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And make sure you join us again next week for another edition of the show, where once again we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.